What's good, fam? Agent O here with an action figure review, and today I have the Mafex Black Panther figure. I know it's been a long hiatus, and honestly, I could have had this review up even before D Amazing had his review, because I had the figure that early, not through any kind of special circumstances. I just got it shipped faster. I could have had it up a lot sooner, and I just didn't because honestly I was just lacking motivation to do videos. But I was back. I got the motivation again. I got the fire, the desire, and I guess they've got their own little seal of approval, as you can see there on the box, a little reflective Medicom seal of approval, so you know it is not a bootleg. And so yeah, this is the figure in box. This is the detail on the outside of it, and you know, it looks pretty straightforward. Nothing too technically for me I feel to write home about. And so yeah, let us jump into this review because there's a lot to go over. Jump in it. So here we have the Mafex Black Panther. This review is going to be a little different though. I'm going to be doing more of a comparison contrast review instead of just a straight up paint by the numbers review that we usually have, because I want to talk about the differences between the SH Figuarts version and the Mafex version. I mean, right off the bat you can see that there's a difference in the body type. I think the Mafex version kind of nails Chadwick Boseman's body type better than the Figuarts version does. The Figuarts version kind of goes for a little bit more of an exaggerated comic book styling of his body type, and that's not bad either. If you're going for like MCU accuracy though, I think you're probably gonna want to do the Mafex one instead. But there's reasons why I got the Mafex version anyway, and that was mainly because I wanted to see if it was good enough to replace the Figuarts version, because I have issues with the Figuarts version that I just cannot ignore, me personally. I have some personal nitpicks that I just can't abide by, and I can't stand that, you know. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll probably have an idea as to why. But yeah, right off the bat you can see actually the Figuarts version is, it's a little bit taller than the Mafex version. That actually kind of surprised me, because these are all supposed to be 1/12 scale figures, and even in the 1/12 scale there's still a little bit of variation in height. So that was kind of a big deal to me at first. And then as far as like surface detailing goes, I actually like the Figuarts version better as far as like all the surface detail goes. It's like they have a better injection mold system than Medicom is using, even though the Figuarts is more of a matte black finish. All the details pop and they just look good in natural light. Like if you notice on the Medicom version, they kind of went with they kind of put like some kind of clear coating of some sort over a lot of the seams and stuff, that kind of define the musculature and where all the purple energy kind of condenses and gathers when he's taking in too much kinetic energy. It's not a bad thing actually. It's a pretty cool idea, in order to make up for the fact that it would all kind of blend together if they had it put this clear coating on. So I don't really see that as a bad thing. But if you compare it to the Figuarts, you can kind of make out all the detail without that clear coating. So they do a really good job with that, and I think the matte finish kind of helps. Also, I think the surface texture is a little smaller gradient than the Mafex is. And I know this is really getting into the nitty-gritty stuff, you know, but these are just some of the things I look at when I'm looking at an action figure, as far as, you know, its overall presentation, that sort of thing. Also, the paint apps I think on the Figuarts are better than on the Mafex. The Mafex, it doesn't stand. The paint apps are good, but I did notice some areas of slop, like right here on the leg. You can kind of see where the paint bleeds onto the black areas where it's not supposed to be. On the face, I don't know if I can get the light to shine better. I might have to just take photos and show that instead. But on the right side of the face, like around the eye area, it looks like the paint looks like it was applied better than on the left. And as far as the Figuarts go, it's very consistent all around as far as paint apps. The Figuarts, they've always done a good job with that. Very seldom do I get a figure that has slop on it or paint bleed on any of the areas, and I feel like they've added enough coats of paint that it definitely, the areas that are painted stand out on top of the areas that are black. And I think that's important because this figure is so monotone in design, in its original design, that the paint has to stand out. The areas that are painted have to stand out and have to be applied perfectly, because these are supposedly supposed to be high-end figures. So you're paying this high-end price, I expect high-end quality. I think that's something any collector should expect out of any product that they buy. I mean, you're spending your hard-earned money on it, so so there should be a level of standard that should be met when you buy a collectible action figure or anything for that matter. You should just apply that to anything in your life. As far as posability, I feel like the Mafex actually edges out the Figuarts. I know Figuarts is known for their posability and known for their articulation, but in this particular case, if for my preferences, the Mafex figure wins because A, they have bicep swivel, whereas the Figuarts version does not. The Figuarts version, even though it doesn't have a bicep swivel, it does have enough play with the butterfly joint and with the leeway that you have with the shoulder rotation that you can kind of get away with not having a bicep swivel. But like I said in past videos, with my preferences, with my own personal preferences, I like a bicep swivel. It just makes posing easier for me, and I like when a figure does that. Now, where the Mafex figure really wins out compared to the Figuarts is in the hip articulation. I don't know, I mean, because of this sculpt, it hinders your posability, and the drop down joint that Figuarts sometimes has on some of these figures, this doesn't help like it should. It helps for getting a better split, but because of the sculpt, because of the way the thigh is sculpted into the hip, it just doesn't give you a lot of range of motion, and that's unfortunate because this is like I said, this is a very nice looking figure, and it could have really done for some retooling, especially since this is the second time that they released this figure, and it's about to be released a third time with some added paint apps and an extra head, which technically should have came with this figure, but Figuarts for some reason has been skimping on the MCU line as of late, and that's unfortunate because I feel like when it comes to their Kamen Rider figures, Figuarts really comes through when it comes to making sure you have everything that comes with that figure that you've seen on the show. And when it comes to the MCU line, it seems like they cut corners, maybe to cut costs, or because they figure people are going to buy it regardless because it's MCU. I don't know what their reasoning is. I'd love to find out from somebody on the inside what that reasoning could be. But once again, this is my personal issue, and especially with the hip joints. I've complained about it before. I've complained about it in other videos, other MCU Figuarts videos, and the Mafex just comes through. Even with the sculpt of the hips kind of blocking your articulation with that, as far as how far you can push the leg back, even still, this is still better than what Figuarts did. You know, and they have like a drop down joint as well. That it doesn't come down that far, but because the sculpt the sculpt of the leg isn't as pronounced, you can still get a really good split, really good amount of range of motion when it comes to extending the legs, so you can get those cool martial arts action poses that you know T'Challa should be capable of pulling off. Now, aside from that, when we want to talk about moving on to accessories and stuff, once again, the Mafex wins out. You'll see that aside from just the hands and the extra head that the Figuarts comes with, the Mafex figure comes with 2 extra heads as well as the main head. You have the head that has the eye lenses pulled back, so you can see his pupils underneath. I'll probably take some better pictures because it doesn't look like it's showing up as well as I would like on my camera. But you have that version with the eyes. You also have the maskless version, which should have come with the Figuarts, but it did not. And so Mafex included that. It kind of looks like Chadwick Boseman. It's an okay likeness. I wouldn't say it's exact. Even the Figuarts one that's about to come out with the King T'Challa version doesn't look exact. It kind of looks like a comic book version caricaturized of his likeness, but it still looks pretty good. I'm not too keen on the skin tone. I feel like they should have went a little darker. I mean, let's face it, Chadwick Boseman is brown, so this like lightish brown caramel complexion thing they're doing and the shadow along the hairline is just not really working for me. I feel like it's not bad. I feel like some people would be okay with it. I'm just not feeling it. Just because I feel like sometimes Japan has an issue with brown skinned people, like the tone of the skin. I think for them lighter is better, and they reflected that with the look of this figure. So and it's the same thing with the Figuarts version. Honestly, I think maybe the Figuarts version looks a little better. I would probably have to have both in hand to make a fair comparison, and that's not going to happen because I'm not buying that figure. I'm not buying that Figuarts figure for a third time. 2 times is enough. They should have included that head sculpt with the second figure, and they didn't. So it is what it is. But overall, I think this is a pretty decent sculpt. I like the hair texture. Paint apps are fine. I don't really feel like there's anything out of place. So yeah, you have that. You also have your hands. Before I even get to the hands, T'Challa, if I can get this out of the packaging. T'Challa comes with this spearhead thing, knife, spear thing. Looks pretty cool. Looks alright. Fits in the hand pretty nicely. It's a tight fit though. You have to take off the spearhead and then put it through the holding thing's hand. Here's one of the holding thing's hands, and you have to really work it through. It's kind of a pain to get it in, but once you do, and luckily the plastic is pretty malleable, it's pretty flexible, but once you get it through, it's definitely gonna stay. You're not gonna have any other issues with it slipping out of the hand. Whoops, it slipped out of my hand. But yeah, once it's in, it stays in, and you can reposition it as needed. So that's always good. You have these open clawed hands that he comes with, and these all look really nice. They have the same clear coat as well over like the knuckles and along the fingers. You have these kind of relaxed posed clawed hands. All the hands seem like they're clawed, which is fine, which is a step above what Figuarts did the first time around, where they didn't give you a clawed hand the first time they released the figure, the Civil War version, and then they rectified that with the Infinity War version. So yeah, you have these nice sculpt, of course, and then you have these relaxed posed clawed hands as well. So all the hands are clawed except for the fists, obviously, because the claw should be retracted. And that right there was like more than what you got with the Figuarts. The Figuarts, you only got like, I think two sets of hands. You got the fists, you got the open clawed hands, and you got like a relaxed pose, and that was it. So Figuarts was sorely lacking in accessories, and the Mafex kind of helped make up for that. So overall, I'm probably going to replace my Figuarts version of Black Panther with the Mafex version. Once again, the body type is closer to the to Chadwick Boseman's body type. He's a little bit more slender. He's a little more slender, muscular, and the Mafex figure represents that better. If you want the exaggerated comic book look, then definitely go with the Figuarts. I mean, I'm not getting rid of my Figuarts. I'm just saying I think overall I prefer the Mafex over the Figuarts, even though presentation-wise, the figure itself, I think the Figuarts version detailing and paint apps looks better, but all the other things that the Mafex version has going for it, I think kind of overrides all of that. So my personal choice is the Mafex. What's your guys' personal choice? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what I could do better, because I'm always trying to improve my video quality and all that fun stuff. As car alarms go off in the background because somebody's doing something they shouldn't be doing, or I don't know what's going on out there. Anyway, that's going to be it. Hit me up on Facebook. I'm Agent Omega Man on Facebook. And that is going to pretty much do it. Until the next action figure review, I am Agent O, and I'm out. Peace.